Hello, Lions fans. We have some bad news today. However, regardless of what happens from now on, let's trust that Brad Holmes will make the best decisions, and in the end, everything will work out. I really hope to see the Detroit Lions competing in Super Bowl 60. I'm thirsty for it. I'm going to tell you all the details of what's happening now, but first, make sure you've already hit the like button if you believe the Lions will make it to the Super Bowl. If possible, comment like this: Go Lions! Let's go to the Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions are facing a financial dilemma that could reshape their offensive core, and it centers on one name: Sam LaPorta. Coming off 2 electric seasons, the young tight end has quickly become one of the most important weapons in Detroit's potent offense. But with Trey McBride's recent contract extension with the Arizona Cardinals, the market for top-tier tight ends has exploded, and that could be bad news for the Lions. LaPorta is under team control through the 2026 season, but there is no fifth-year option to fall back on. The Lions could opt to franchise tag him, but even that only gives them a temporary and very expensive solution. The game changed dramatically when McBride, a player with far less touchdown production, signed a $76 million extension that included $43 million guaranteed at a whopping $19 million per year. That now sets the new floor, not the ceiling, for what Sam LaPorta can command. Let's talk production. McBride, despite a solid 2023 campaign, finished with only 3 touchdowns. His breakout year saw 81 receptions on 106 targets for 825 yards. A solid season, sure, but lacking in point-scoring impact. His rookie year, just 29 catches for 265 yards and a single touchdown. Compare that to LaPorta, who, as a rookie in 2023, hauled in 86 receptions on 120 targets for 889 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's nearly triple the touchdown output, in fewer games, and under the weight of rookie expectations. And unlike McBride, LaPorta didn't need a vacancy in the depth chart to earn his reps. He seized the starting role and never looked back. That dominance didn't fade in year 2, even with injuries hampering the early part of his season. LaPorta followed up with another stellar performance: 12.1 yards per catch, 7 touchdowns, and improved efficiency across the board. Sophomore slump? Nowhere to be found. He also earned All-Pro and Pro Bowl nods, accolades McBride doesn't have. In terms of tight end value, Sam LaPorta is elite, and elite now means expensive. This raises an enormous question for the Lions front office. How do you pay everyone? Not just LaPorta, but also Jahmyr Gibbs and Dan Campbell, both of whom will soon be due for big second contracts. Detroit's success in the draft has created a good problem to have: a team full of young, star-caliber talent that will all need to get paid. General Manager Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell have built something special through a draft, develop, and retain strategy. But retaining all of them may not be financially possible under the current cap structure. That's exactly why Detroit stayed conservative this offseason. No splashy pass rusher, no blockbuster free agency moves. Instead, they made careful, calculated additions, including finding a key replacement at cornerback, while keeping the long-term balance sheet in mind. The writing has been on the wall for months, and now it's coming into sharp focus. The Lions are going to face some brutally tough decisions in the next 2 years. So here we are. Sam LaPorta, one of the brightest young tight ends in the NFL, is about to become one of the most expensive. And if Trey McBride's contract is any indicator, the floor for LaPorta's next deal is likely $20 million per year, with massive guarantees. That's if the Lions want to lock him up long-term. The alternative? Use the franchise tag, which could still cost north of $14 million, and push the problem 1 year down the road. It's a situation that underscores both the brilliance and the burden of great drafting. LaPorta is the kind of player you dream about developing, the kind you want to be a cornerstone of your franchise. But that dream now comes with a hefty price tag. The Lions have time, but not much. The decision window opens next offseason. They either extend him or start preparing for a very tough franchise tag call in 2026. And beyond that, the possibility that LaPorta's last season in Detroit could come sooner than any of us want to admit.
So what do you think, Lions fans? Is Sam LaPorta worth a record-breaking extension? Should the team prioritize his deal over others? Or are we heading toward a painful reality where we can't keep all of our stars? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is a conversation every Detroit fan needs to be a part of. Let's dive even deeper into this situation because there's a broader implication here that Detroit simply cannot ignore. Sam LaPorta isn't just a rising star, he's becoming a symbol of the new Detroit Lions. He represents everything this franchise is trying to build: toughness, reliability, versatility, and explosive playmaking from a non-traditional offensive position. And that makes his contract status more than just a number, it's a message to the rest of the locker room. Think about what it says to a team when a player like Sam, who came in, delivered, and exceeded expectations, doesn't get paid. It affects more than just the tight end room. It sets a tone for how Detroit treats its own. Players talk. Agents talk. When you reward your homegrown talent, it builds trust across the roster. That's part of the culture shift that's been brewing under Dan Campbell. But if you let someone like LaPorta walk because of financial constraints, that trust begins to fracture. Now, from a business standpoint, there's no denying this is a nightmare scenario for the front office. If you project the numbers forward, a $20 million per year deal over 4 or 5 years puts LaPorta in the $80 to $100 million range, with at least $45 to $50 million in guaranteed money, possibly more. That type of contract eats into the cap space you need to retain or acquire key talent elsewhere, especially when you consider Jared Goff's future, the eventual extensions for Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Gibbs, and Campbell, not to mention depth signings across the defense. Here's where the Trey McBride deal becomes even more painful. The Cardinals reset the market with a player who doesn't match LaPorta's production or impact. McBride is a talented pass catcher, no doubt, but 2 touchdowns in a season where he was targeted 147 times? That doesn't scream game changer. It screams volume. And now the Lions are being forced to negotiate from that inflated baseline. It's like trying to buy a house after someone down the street overpaid for one with fewer rooms. Suddenly every seller wants that price, even if it doesn't match the true value. And yet, that's the reality. You can't roll back the clock. The market is the market. LaPorta's camp will walk into negotiations armed with all-pro accolades, a stronger rookie year, better scoring stats, and the undeniable truth that he's more than just a tight end. He's a centerpiece of this offense. Ben Johnson's system has leaned on LaPorta in big moments. Third down? Red zone? Need a mismatch? Sam has delivered every time. That's leverage, plain and simple. Then there's the looming threat of the franchise tag. It's a Band-Aid solution, and an expensive one at that. Right now, projections place the tag for tight ends around $14 to $15 million, maybe higher if more mega deals are signed in the next year. Using the tag avoids a long-term commitment, but it also guarantees nothing beyond one more season. And worse, it risks alienating the player. Tags are notorious for creating tension. Just look at the history. Very few players like being tagged, and even fewer stay long-term afterward. So what does Brad Holmes do? Does he bite the bullet, extend LaPorta next offseason,